him did not activate, and so I had no internet service. So we are now up and running, and I have some catching up to do on the scoreboard overlay. So give me just a few moments here, but we are live, and happy to have you with us. And my apologies on not getting that started on time. Okay, folks, so we are now back and all set to go. Looks like we are the away team playing today in the 3-2 Oktoberfest against the Kansas City Renegades. We played the same team back at the Fall Rings Championship out in Liberty, Missouri. Today we are in Shawnee, Kansas, and due to missing that first half inning, we were the away team. Started off with a pop out by Ryder Vota, a couple of hit by pitches, some ground outs, and things like that. But we did get on the board for one run. And starting out on the bump for us on the defense is Tucker Lee, number 19. And first pitch of ball coming in, 66 miles an hour. And still trying to get things kind of all set and ready to go. We've got some significant sun glare. And so I'm having to adjust some of the camera angles here that we don't typically use in this fashion. But as that sun comes above the horizon and gets up higher into the sky, we'll get back to some of our normal viewing and whatnot. Some fantastic updates in the software is going to allow us to do some picture-in-picture. And so real excited about being able to play around with some of that. And a nice slider for swinging a strike. And we're now on a 1-2 count. So Tucker pitching from the stretch, even with nobody on, and starting out here on this leadoff batter. Another swing and a miss. Paul digs it, but makes a nice throw down for out number one. And what a great job. So Tucker going back to that slider pretty often. I think 3 of his 5 pitches in that at-bat were sliders, and got that leadoff batter with a swing and a miss on one that went down in the dirt. Paul was able to block it and just kind of lost it in some of the dirt and dust, but made a nice throw down for that drop third strike and a first out. And Tucker starts with a strike here on batter number 2. That is going to be Hockaday for the KC Renegades. So a 1-1 count now, and because we missed that first half inning, it was really a pretty unusual start. Started out with a pop-up by Ryder, but then after that, 2 hit by pitches, and then a third one, and then they actually ended up doing a pitching change. And so pitching change right there after the first 3 batters, and you know, the pitcher that the KC Renegades was able to bring on was able to kind of get them out without too much damage, considering the start. All right, so a 2-2 count, fastball across the plate. And man, are we staring into some sun today. And a nice block by one down in the dirt. And let me go over your guys' lineup here today. Ryder Vota, Austin Strength, Arlo Mai, Paul McClinley, Jacob Larson, Tucker Lee, Harrison Perkins, Odie Saxon, Brooks Carr, Evan Brooks, Logan Peterson, and Reed Eckert. And looks like Tucker lost that one with a ball high, and the second batter is able to make his way on base. So as we get started, I'll begin working on figuring out where the boys are at here. But again, I'm just a little out of sorts, starting a little bit late. This pitch well high, back pick by Paul down to first. Runner is back safely. And that'll be a 1-0 count to number 4, Bishop. And so this KC Renegades team, we've played 3 different teams named Renegades. Runner goes, and Tucker not paying enough attention. Steps off the rubber, makes a throw over to second, but it is in high, and the batter is able to get up. So MacNSeitz not firing on all cylinders to begin with here. But we are up 1-0. No damage done yet. 1 out, and a 1-0 count to the batter. Paul down for another block, and looks like that one hit his hand. He's shaking his hand pretty good. Not something you like to see from your catcher. It's such a tough job. They get beat up all season long, and you know, here in a fall season, this is only our 3rd tournament together. Boys still learning to play with each other, but Paul's such an important part of that team. And it looks like he makes a nice throw back to Tucker right there. Still gripping and clutching at his hand, but catchers are a different breed. They're a tough sort. So Paul looks like he'll be okay. Another fastball down the pipe. That one coming in 66 miles an hour. Now a 2-2 count. And we'll see what Tucker Lee has for him here in this next pitch. Again, from the stretch. Runner out at second, feinting as if he's stealing a couple of times. Has a pretty good lead. He goes. Runner goes. And this pitch down in the dirt. Now another full count with the runner now on third. So Tucker not doing a good job of looking back and holding that runner on. He had a significant lead, and each pitch his lead got bigger and bigger. And so without a throw back and no checking of that, we allow somebody to get well within scoring position. So, and now Tucker Lee with another walk. So runners on the corners, just one down. And now number 17, Salmons, up at the plate. And so if you'll remember, we played Kansas City Renegades at that Fall Rings Championship out there in Liberty. It was a really close game. As the runner goes down to second, uncontested, no throw. And now runners on second and third. But it was a close game. Both teams didn't play particularly well. There were a number of errors on both sides. Pitching was not real strong. But more importantly, the bats were not real strong. Little check swing there. Doesn't look like he went, so they call that one a ball. Now 1-1 count. And the Renegades, that was in pool play, and the Renegades had the home advantage, and they were able to bring one across the plate in that last inning, beating MacNSeitz by 1 run. Wild pitch. Runner does not go. And we're seeing some control issues here. So early. And one of the things I talk about quite a bit is, you know, playing at this age bracket and the pitching mounds these kids are pitching on, and how that can be good or can be bad. And now Tucker just seems flustered, not really striding all the way out. His release point off there, and now a 3-1 pitch. But these pitching mounds, oftentimes, as these young men get bigger and bigger, become problematic with their stride and falling off of these tiny portable mounds. But here at 3-2 right now today on field number 18, we have a full actual pitching mound. Fantastic. Another pass ball and another walk. Now bases loaded. Tucker not showing good positive body posture and a little frustration. Paul walks out with him to the mound and is going to try to get him to settle down. But nice to have these boys. They're playing now on 90-foot base paths, pitching from the full pitching distance, just like they do in the bigs, and now pitching off of a full dirt mound. Kind of beautiful to see. And that sun's starting to come up a little bit. It looks like we're going to be able to switch back to some of our normal viewing angles. Let's see if we can't get some of that picture-in-picture going. And another wild pitch and a run scores. Matchup now even at 1-1. 2 runners on, second and third, and only 1 down. Tucker really needing to get it together and work through this. Never fun to be up on the bump and not having good command of your pitches. But it's important to maintain, you know, positive body posture and positive mindset. And he throws one in here for a strike. That one coming in 65 miles an hour. So dialing it down back off of his normal velocity. Tends to be kind of upper 60s into that low 70s. So struggling with some of that command, dialing it back a little bit. And let's throw some strikes. Ball in play. This one over to second and is handled easily for out number 2. A run will score. And the Kansas City Renegades are up now 2-1. So 2 down, 2 runs in the bottom of the first. And so kind of frustrating that, you know, here in pool play, we just have not had any fortunate luck in getting a home advantage, and sometimes that's just the way things shake out. And I will say, you know, using the law of averages, that's gonna play out, and we'll start to get some of those home advantages from time to time. But right here, we just don't have that today. Foul ball down the right side, and number 3. Baker for the Kansas City Renegades fouls one down the right side. And Paul continues to work hard back there behind the dish. Ball high. This one coming in 66 miles an hour and well off the mark. So now our third tournament in this fall, and I will say that, you know, the boys have been playing better, playing pretty good defense, and both balls put in play. These guys did a good job taking care of. So a drop third strike, and Paul makes a nice throw down to first, and that gets us out of this doggone inning. So not the way we want to start, but nonetheless a lot of baseball yet to play. That's going to bring us back to the top of the second. And unfortunately our umpire's Go Juice, his Monster Energy drink, got hit by one of those wild pitches. I think the pitcher owes him a Monster Energy. I don't know. Well, I'm going to take a short break here and get kind of situated and make sure that we are on track for the remainder of this game. If you guys are joining us out on Twitter or on YouTube, please give the video a like and subscribe if you have not already done so. We are using our subscription numbers for some fundraising activities here in 2023. And so no sponsors for this fall season. And so really important as we've got some pretty significant financial obligations for these boys in order to train and compete at the level of baseball that we are playing and will intend to play at. And these boys put a lot of energy and effort into everything that they do. And that takes time. It takes financial support from the community, and we appreciate anybody that might be interested in that. As you'll see our live stream going, you'll see that there's an example company logo down in the bottom right hand of the live stream that cycles through along with our team logo. And then we have some audio commercials that will play in between innings as well. So you'll hear some of those examples coming up here later in the stream. And so we'll stand by here for the beginning of the top half of the second inning. All right, that brings up number 19, Tucker Lee, to bat, looking to help himself as he fell behind out there on the bump. MacNSeitz now down 2-1. Now a 1-1 count. So now 2-1 count. And Tucker Lee, let's take a look here. So his OPS, 833. That's a combination of your on-base percentage and your slugging percentage added together. And what I will say is he's leading the team this fall right now in walks. Hasn't had a ton to hit, but it looks like he's had a couple of good pitches here. Now a 2-2 count, and we'll see if we can't get our leadoff batter on base. And strike three looking. Unfortunate to say, but Tucker Lee is also leading the team in strikeouts looking. So another one down. And not the way we really want to start. But with that said, that brings up Harrison Perkins, number 28, to the plate. It's just MacNSeitz 14 on YouTube or Twitter. All right, a ball coming in there. Looks like I'm a little behind on the count there. My apologies. Had one of the grandparents come up and asking how some extended family can watch online. Ball in play. This one over to second base. Second baseman bobbles the ball, but is still able to hold on and make that out. So Harrison doing a great job putting the ball in play and at least giving himself a chance. And that's, one of those things that as a ball player, you want to always be able to get that ball into play if you're getting the pitches. So that one not working out our way. So 2 up and 2 down, but that's going to bring up Odie Saxon to the plate. Taking a look at Odie here this fall, and in the 2 tournaments we've played so far, looks like 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Not a great hitting tournament just yet, but I know that he's been putting in a lot of extra work outside of even the team practices. And he's come up big for us in a couple of different situations. So let's see if he can get something going for our MacNSeitz 14U team today. Swing and a miss. This one on a curveball outside. And I didn't say it earlier, but it looks like for the Kansas City Renegades, Jones, number 1 Jones, is up on the bump. And working from the windup. That off-speed pitch coming in high and not breaking. So it doesn't look like a big velocity guy, but somebody with a lot of movement on their pitches, and we'll see what Odie can do with it here. Showing some good discipline and patience. Taking another ball outside. So swing and a miss, drop third strike, but the catcher is able to make that throw down to first. And that will retire the inning. Okay, number 99, Kincaid for the Kansas City Renegades at the plate. And a fastball inside for ball one. So fortunate for you guys at home, and I think also fortunate for us out here on the ballpark. The sun is starting to come up, and it's a little brutal viewing wise. We happen to be on the first base dugout side today and staring straight into that sun, and kind of a little brutal. Pop fly, this one center field. That one drops in and finds some green grass out there in front of, looks like Ryder Vota. It just did not catch enough air and kind of died, and right there just behind second base. Let's see for sure if that's who that is. No, that was not Ryder. That possibly Ev Brooks. So ball high to start on batter number 2. Renegades are able to get their leadoff batter. Taking a good high fly ball, foul ball. Nope, home run. Oh, man. And so Tucker Lee giving up a home run. Not at all what we're wanting to see. And that ends up being a 2-run shot. His body posture is just all kinds of negative. And so for any of you guys there watching at home, Tucker happens to be my son, and so it's hard not to be overly critical sometimes when I see him doing some things that I know he's capable of doing so much better. Foul ball. And that'll be an 0-1 count. So that was a great hit, and right over the left field fence, 250 feet. So not real deep, but a well-hit ball nonetheless, and a 2-run home run puts the Kansas City Renegades up 4-1. So Tucker showing some grit here. Coming back with 2 strikes to start on the next batter. Pop fly, this one center field. And a nice catch for out number 1. Yep, and I did confirm that was Evan out there in center field, so making a nice catch. And a big looping curveball for strike number 1. Now that brings the Renegades back to the top of their lineup, and so we've got number 1, Jones, out at the plate again. Now a 1-1 count, and Tucker continuing to work from the stretch. Swing and a miss, and now a 1-2 count. So interesting to say how a kid's going to react after giving up a home run, and how the team will react when it's our time back up at the plate. So swing and a miss for strike 3. This one down in the dirt, and Paul makes a nice throw down to first, and that'll be two down. So most of the outs Tucker earning via strikeout, but giving up some key walks and then leading to a couple of nice hits, and now a 4-1 game. This one well outside. Tucker throwing across his body and falling down across the mound. You know, one of the advantages of having these live streams is the ability for these boys to go back in on YouTube and Twitter and watch these games back, watch what they did in certain situations and learn from those things. They can also look at their mechanics. That could be from both a hitting standpoint or pitching standpoint, even fielding. You know, where was that glove at, and did we get a good jump on the ball, did we not, and that type of thing. So I imagine Tucker will need to take a good look at some of his mechanics here, because they are not looking great right now. Has another ball down in the dirt, and again throwing across his body. So just not doing a great job of striding down the mound. And a nice looking slider, that one down in the dirt, not coming across the plate, hitting just a little bit low. 3-1 count. 2 down here in bottom of the second. Ball high and another walk. So just one runner on. That's number 2, Hockaday, that earned the walk. And that'll bring number 4, Bishop, up to the plate. So I was just beginning to say it earlier as there we go. And we got an out. So runner tried to play games again over there, running from first to second right in the middle of the stretch. What is going on now? You called him out. Now give me just a moment here. All right, so a little goofiness there. Kansas City Renegade over on first base, just as they did in the first inning. And, you know, to their credit, MacNSeitz not making the play in the first inning, but trying to take a steal because the pitcher not taking a good job of holding them on, and did step off the rubber and made a throw over to second, and was unable to make the play for the out. That happened in the first. This is the second. This time we make the play, but then the home plate umpire said that the batter called timeout as the boys all completely ran off the field and then had to bring them all back out. So another walk, and I got to tell you, we just got to get Tucker Lee out of there. He doesn't have the mindset right now to get the job done, but we have a lot of baseball yet to play this weekend, and might as well save the arm. I'm not sure. So not a fan of that last call, and so I didn't hear the home plate umpire award the timeout. And you know, usually, typically, when a batter asks for a timeout, the home plate umpire will raise their hands and step up. And he never changed positions. He never did anything that would have indicated that a timeout was awarded. Ball in play. This one over to second. Bobbled the ball, and runner reaches on air. So a typically something that we would be looking for right there is a nice little ground ball and almost a gimme. And unfortunately, just a small little bobble. Give credit to number one, it wasn't number one. Give credit to the Renegades for hustling down first base line. So now bases loaded. 2 down, and we start off with a 1-0 count. I don't know how many pitches we are in. I'll take a look at the half inning, but pitch count has to be fairly high. I don't know if that was a ball or a strike. And so, I said this in our first tournament of the fall. One of my biggest pet peeves is just when an umpire doesn't take command of the game. And all I care about, and I don't typically like to argue calls and things like that. I don't think that in youth athletics that it makes a big difference. Without these officials and without the umpires, we don't get a chance to play. And that kind of thing. So as Tucker delivers ball number 4 and another run comes across the plate as the bases are continuing to be loaded. Coach Brady calls a timeout and will visit Tucker out on the mound. Just a brutal outing to begin with here. All kinds of negative body language. And I can just hear him talking in his head to himself right now. He was getting some work in our basement just last night, working some tee work down in the basement, and I could hear him talking to himself down there. So it's one of those things. I think baseball is such a mental sport that these kids can sometimes be harder on themselves than they need to be, and then it tends to end up in negative results. But so just a quick visit, and then Tucker starts off with a strike. So maybe Coach said some of the right things to him. Let's get this overlay off here. Let's take a look at all 3 runners on base. Foul tip back, and now an 0-2 count. Really would like to see Tucker just stick with the fastball here. He's been going to that slider a little too much. All right, steps off the back of the rubber, takes a deep breath. Now reset. And a wild pitch. Runners stay. So fortunate, no harm done. 1-2 count. Paul's done a great job behind the dish with, a lot of pitches just kind of all over the place. Really hard to get to every single one. This one actually hitting. And another run comes across. So now a 6-1 contest. And a 2-2 count. Strike 3. And Paul makes another nice throw down on that drop third strike. So we get out of the inning, but not before some serious damage was done. And the Kansas City Renegades up now 6-1. So Paul doing a good job of getting beat up there. Looks like the home plate umpire got hit in the foot on one of those balls down in the dirt. And, I also should point out, too, that is not a drop ball. When I say a drop third strike on Paul, I said that incorrectly. He actually just took the pitch that was down in the dirt. So it was a slider down in the dirt, getting the batter to chase it. And when it's down in the dirt like that, the runner either has to be tagged, the batter either has to be tagged, or the throw has to be made down to first. And Ball's done a fantastic job of making some nice throws down there to O.D. Saxon playing out at first, and good job there. So let's see how our MNS boys can respond out here at the plate. So this pitcher has a lot of movement, not a big velocity guy, and we'll see just how well our boys can respond to being down. I will say so far this year we've had good offensive production, although if there were 2 games I had to point to here this fall that we didn't have great offensive production, one was against this KC Renegades team back in that fall Rings Championship. So let's see how these boys respond here. That's just to wake everybody up. All right, that brings up number 5, Brooks Carr at the plate. A 1-1 count now. I'm getting back here just a bit late as Brooks takes another pitch. This one a called strike, and now a 1-2 count. Looks like now a full count. Okay, so full count. Brooks with 3 walks on the fall season so far. OPS of 566. And takes a ball for ball 4. So he'll earn his base. And MacNSeitz has the leadoff batter on base. So if we're going to get a little rally going, that's a good way to start. That brings up now number 4, Evan Book, to the plate. So Evan takes first pitch for a ball, and Brooks with a good lead out at first. I think pass ball, and Brooks will make his way over to second. And now a 2-0 count to Evan Book. So I don't know if that's a tongue twister or not, but I've got Brooks Carr on second base and then Evan Book out at the plate. And kind of mixing up the names back and forth, so my apologies there. A wild pitch up here, not a wild pitch, but a ball well up and in for a 3-0 count. Got to think that Evan's going to be patient here. We obviously cannot tie up the game, and we got a number of runs to make, so you would figure we're going to be patient. And Evan certainly does so, taking ball number 4, and 2 runners on. So first 2 batters making their way on base. And that brings up big number 7, Logan Peterson. So Logan, multi-sport athlete like a lot of these boys, and not able to make it out to some of these fall baseball games here this fall. So good to see him back out here on the diamond again. I know he made a big difference for us in the day that he was able to come out and play. Wild pitch, runners will advance. No throws made. So number 1 Jones for the KC Renegades, showing some control issues here early and top of the third. MacNSeitz with 2 runners on in scoring position at second and third, and now a 2-0 count to Logan. I think Logan may have been on a take on that one because he looked like he wanted it, but he did not swing. So showing good patience there. Now a 2-1 count. And from the stretch, ball number 3, pass ball, but just kind of rolls away slightly to the left. And ball number 4. That'll load the bases for number 11, Reed Ecker, but that's not number 11. Reed is actually number 8. So this is the first time I've actually seen Reed this season. So also another multi-sport athlete, and both, I think, Logan and Reed playing basketball. So they've had some basketball tournaments here this fall that have had some conflict with some baseball. So good to see him out here. And looks like that is the last batter in our lineup. And it looked like the KC Renegades coach just wanted to have a short conference with his pitcher. So a lot of strategy in some of these baseball tournaments. And, you know, the KC Renegades up 6-1. Bases now loaded and probably going to show a little patience because you typically only have so many arms able to pitch. And so Jones will stay out on the mound. Foul ball right side. And now a 1-1 count. So moderate leads, nothing drastic. Foul ball. Now, if you guys will remember in the Perfect Game Monster Bash that we had here about 2 weeks ago, was it just last weekend? No, it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago in the Monster Bash, we had an infield fly incorrectly called by the umpires. And so one of the more confusing rules by folks that aren't avid baseball followers. And it's really not an overly complicated rule, but when the bases are loaded with less than 2 outs, if a pop fly happens in the infield, right, the batter is automatically called out, and runners can advance, but they advance at their own risk. This was incorrectly officiated in the Monster Bash tournament, and unfortunately, that ended up bumping. It resulted in bumping us out of the tournament. But White Hat was not called, and which is a tournament director. And ball 4, that will bring one across the plate for MacNSeitz. And it is now 6-2. That brings the top of our lineup and Ryder Votaw to the plate. So Ryder, not a great average this fall. Taking the first pitch for a strike, batting .263, but I will tell you that his OPS, which again is a combination of his on-base percentage and slugging percentage, .716. So he's had 4 RBIs and 5 walks, and we'll see what he can do here. Last pitch coming in high, making a count now 1-1. Pitcher continuing to work from the stretch. Conservative leads by all on base. And a nice off speed there. Looked like it possibly a slider. Now a 1-2 count. Had a nice little break to it and some movement. Same pitch, this one hitting the outside corner for strike 3, and Ryder not necessarily agreeing with that call, but that'll be one down, and now bringing up Austin Strength to the plate. So good looking pitch, and two of them back to back, same pitch, one just hitting on a different portion of the plate. Now, bases loaded, you got to figure MacNSeitz really, if we're going to stay in this game or get back into it, we've got to capitalize off of having these bases loaded. So number 1 Jones out there on the mound, struggling early in the inning, and gaining some control here in that last batter. Ball in play. This one over to third base. Third baseman will tag, and then, and a great play by the third baseman for the KC Renegades. Tagged the third base and then threw over to first, and a double play. Will get the Renegades out of the inning. So not the greatest job by our MacNSeitz crew here today. That's a little bit frustrating to get our first 3 batters on and only scoring 1 run. But such is baseball, and there's still more yet to play. And looks to me like, is that Logan? No. Yep, looks to me like MacNSeitz is making a pitching change here in this inning. And it looks like we got number 3-5, Logan Peterson. Is that 3-5? Still learning these boys. Yep, and so I have Logan's number wrong in our overlay system, but it is right in our official scorebook. And Evan's dad, Steve, talking with him earlier this morning, he's running the official scorebook for us today through Game Changer. And so because I'm doing video switching and commentating and things like that, I can at times get behind on my scoreboard overlay because I'm doing 3 different things all at the same time. And various people have helped out with Game Changer, but it looks like Steve has done it quite a bit for us here this fall. And anytime I have a question, I go over and consult them. They are our official scorekeepers, and makes sense because you got one person that's really focused on that one task. And I can tell you, if you guys have never done Game Changer, it's actually, it can be a little stressful. You're trying to make sure that you're getting everything right, and there are so many statistics in baseball. And as you hear me commentating, I'm talking about on-base percentage and slugging percentage and walks and hits and extra base hits, all those types of things. And I get that directly from Game Changer. And so, without Game Changer, we don't enjoy being able to look at some of those stats and see how these boys are progressing, how they've been playing, and that kind of thing. So that's something that I know I've particularly enjoyed. And so I appreciate those guys doing that as I try to bring these live streams out to our families and the players for training purposes. Well, let's hope Logan here has a little bit better luck out on the mound than Tucker did. Tucker just not a good day out there on the bump, and had some decent pitches, had a few strikeouts, but just inconsistent all across the board. A lot of walks, and then giving up a big 2-run home run shot. So one thing's for sure is that there's more baseball to play, and there'll be games on another day. So I know that we'll be excited to see him back out on the mound, looking to redeem himself at a later date. So this will bring up a lefty, number 99, Kincaid, for the Kansas City Renegades. Logan working from the windup. And this first pitch down in the dirt. Paul not having a lot of luck today. Looked like he hit his hand again. And I got to tell you, I think Paul's, mechanics behind the dish are excellent. I mean, almost textbook. So putting his bare hand behind the glove and getting that glove down and replacing his knees with his feet and getting his feet down on those balls down in the dirt and keeping the ball right in front of him. Doing it again there. And so Logan not starting off with real strong here just yet, but it's early. And a strike call there. Foul ball down the right side. And that looked like Kincaid had kind of rolled over on his hands, and so ends up with a little bit of a chopper down that right side. But with the foul ball, earns another opportunity for a pitch here. Another ball down in the dirt, and this will be a full count. That's the second pitch to hit the umpire today, and I tell you what, Paul is one of the best young catchers I've seen in a while. So if these balls are getting by him and hitting that umpire, he's been working hard. So Logan with a ball 4 there, and Kincaid will earn his base. So the Renegades, for the second inning in a row, get their lead-off runner on base. That'll bring up number 7, Hale. So Logan starts off with a strike, and that's what we want to see right there. So in one or two other times I've been able to see Logan pitch, he will get himself into a good rhythm here. High pop fly, this one just behind second base. Oh, and we drop it, but looks like we're going to be able to make a throw. Oh, and we missed the throw. Oh, unbelievable. So MacNSeitz just hurting ourselves today, and unfortunate. High pop fly, a lot of sun, just behind second base, and center fielder coming in and not able to make that play. So now runners on second and first. Nobody down. And the score 6-2 favor of the Kansas City Renegades. That pitch coming in high and will be ball number 1. So let me take a look here. So Logan, that's right. Looking at the stats for fall, looks like Logan had 2 innings pitched. Faced 8 batters, had 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. So not a great ERA. And MacNSeitz continuing to hurt ourselves here. So looked like we had a back pick over at third and an overthrow there, and a run will come across the plate. Pop fly, right field, handled easily for out number 2. Cut-off throw, and a great throw by Harrison Perkins, playing second base now. But the runner was able to tag and make his way over to third. So boys doing a good job on that relay, coming in from right field over to third base, but another pop fly, this one same spot. This one finds some green grass, and that'll be an RBI. And another run for the Renegades. So boys looking a little bit flat out there. Not seeing a ton of energy. And sometimes it's hard to see too when guys are standing in position. Runner goes, throw down from Paul, not in time. And now a 1-0 count to number 2, Hockaday. So a ridiculous lead out at second, and no attempt at a pickoff move there, but Logan does have a nice fastball for strike one. Let's take a look at his velocity here. Runner goes, that's a foul ball, so that was a fastball coming in at 62 miles an hour. Batter now on a 1-2 count, and runner will have to return to second base. Did look like he was on an attempted steal, but with the foul ball, having to return. Count now even at 2-2. Curveball, this one's going to be a base hit. Runner will go home. No throw is made, no attempt is made. And that'll be an RBI single. Making our score now 9-2. So where we've seen the boys so strong in the past several games defensively, we're just not in a position where we're making great plays. And you got to give credit where credit's due too. Kansas City Renegades having some nice hits here into some difficult spots. This one right back to pitch, goes underneath his glove. Harrison Perkins picks it up. And there was an attempt for a turn 2, but we don't need it, as that's going to be out number 3. Where did they turn to? Folks, I don't know what game I'm watching today, but well, I'll tell you this. Over here on the right side of the field, you'll see Coach is got the boys outside the dugout. Trying to get some energy going, and I got to tell you, there's just not a lot of talking going on here in the dugout. Well, we've talked about it earlier here in the broadcast, and as our MacNSeitz team looks to get some more training opportunities and some more tournament opportunities in here in 2023, we are going to be looking for some sponsors, and have a little audio commercial here for you, so take a listen.
Does your company support the community? Our MacNSeitz Baseball Club depends on generous donations in order to train and compete. Our sponsorship program has a variety of packages that fit into most any budget. With our live broadcast to YouTube and Twitter, our sponsors enjoy recognition of their community support, company logos cycled throughout our live streams, even audio commercials, just like this one. So if your company can help us reach our goals, please let us know by leaving a comment on our video. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, MacNSeitz14U. Thank you for supporting local youth athletics. Now let's get back to some baseball.
All right, and so if you are joining us live, more times than not, we have families and friends of the opponents that we're playing against, but a lot of our extended family and whatnot. So if you live in the greater Kansas City metro area, we are certainly going to be looking for some sponsorships. If you are aware of any company willing to support their local community and youth athletics, please let us know. Give us a comment on one of our videos, and maybe a contact information for us to reach out and see if we can't get some sponsorship going for these MacNSeitz guys. So got a little bit of a different view here for you. Let's see if we can see where these pitches are coming across the plate here a little bit better with this view. Starting off with a strike right there, and that is number 9, Arlo Mai, leading us off. Well, Arlo, one of the more consistent hitters that we've had, didn't have a great game at his last game at the plate, but on the whole fall season as a whole, definitely a strong hitter, batting .478 and OPS 1.303. Oh, and a really questionable call there, but that's going to be a strike 3. That one looked like to me, it came in pretty low, but strike 3 call nonetheless, and Arlo has to head back to the dugout. And MacNSeitz just not having any luck getting anything going. Let's see if number 12, Paul McClenny, can get us going. Starting off with the strike there. And talking about batting and statistics and things like that, Paul McClenny is leading in almost every statistical category for us out here at the plate, as he takes the ball outside and even up the count at 1-1. So his batting average for this fall, .579, on base percentage .667, slugging .783 or .789, I apologize. OPS of 1.456. So coming up big for us in a number of ways, as he takes another pitch outside. This one now a 2-1 count. Paul fouls that one back, and that'll bring him now to an even count at 2-2. And I didn't mention it earlier, but the Kansas City Renegades do make a change out there on the bump. It is now number 19, Hamilton, hurling from the mound. Big looping curveball, that one well outside. And now a full count. I tell you what, it is going to be a beautiful day for us out here and playing in Shawnee, Kansas, but it is chilly this morning, and there's just a slight breeze coming in from the outfield, and Paul takes a big looping curveball for strike 3. So 2 batters and 2 strikeouts for number 19, Hamilton. Looks like he goes to that curveball pretty often, had good command of it. And boys just now really getting into that age bracket where we're going to start seeing a whole lot more variety of pitches. This first pitch coming in for a ball 1. That's number 33, Jacob Larson, out at the plate. So right now we're getting a lot of called strikes, and it's now a 1-1 count. I'll tell you, Jacob with 4 RBIs, 2 walks in the season, not great from an average standpoint here, batting 167. But he's got a good-looking swing, and looks like he's got some power behind him, too, when he gets the bat on the ball. Nice hit here. This one gets right by the shortstop, and Jacob with a single to start things off for us. So sometimes that's all it takes is just one guy getting something going and maybe giving some life back to our dugout here a little bit. That's going to bring up number 19, Tucker Lee, to the plate. As he takes his first pitch for ball number 1. So Tucker also not great on the average, same as Jacob, batting only 167, but on base percentage actually pretty high. So on base percentage of 583, and that's, you know, due to the fact that he's leading the team in walks with 12 walks this fall. As the pitcher makes a pickoff attempt over at first, Jacob back into first safely. Ball in high, and now a 2-0 count. So you got to figure with the game being so far out of stretch here. So the count now, Renegades 9, MacNSeitz 2. No big reason to take a bunch of steals and things like that to risk outs. I still haven't seen yet in any of these fall tournaments a really strong catcher able to throw guys out consistently at second, but I think that you are going to start to see that here in the 2023 spring-summer season. And now a 3-1 count. But Larson staying on first. A good lead, but not a huge lead. Swing and a miss. And that'll be strike number 2. That'll take Tucker to a full count. And I'll tell you, Tucker looks to me a lot like Jacob. If he puts the bat on the ball, it typically goes somewhere. But struggling this fall here to get something going. And he takes a curveball down in the dirt for ball 4 and earns another walk. So 2 runners on now, second and first, and that's going to bring up Harrison Perkins. And I'll tell you, Harrison, one of the better hitting boys this fall so far. Average only 364, and I say only 364. That's a Hall of Fame type of average for the majors. But when you're talking youth athletics, but good there. But his on-base percentage 600, and so as we're looking at that, where's Harrison at? He's got 2 RBIs and 8 walks. So right behind Tucker in the walk thing. As the catcher attempts to back pick over at first, Tucker making it back safely. So Harrison just looking like he's got a lot of confidence sitting up here at the plate. And it takes ball number 2. I tell you what, I cannot wait for it to warm up a little bit. Starting to get really chilly with just this really slight breeze. So pitcher attempting to pick off over at first, even with the runner on second. Everybody just returns to their bases safely. All right, and now a 3-1 count as the catcher kind of walks down first base, looking the runner back. Ball high. Ooh, nope. Looks like I had my count wrong once again. And guys, I usually have some help out here to help me get all this right, and that's my better half, Delana Lee, my wife. Another pickoff attempt over at first, nothing going there. And Delana and I are dividing and conquering today as my youngest son is at a basketball tournament. So I'm consistently messing up our scoring overlay here. And that's ball 4. So that'll load the bases. And that's going to bring number 5'8", Odie Saxon, to the plate. Odie batting .222 on the fall here so far. 2 RBIs, and let's see if we can't get a little something going. We left a lot of guys stranded on base here earlier in the game, and obviously, if we're going to get back into this, we need to get something going here. As Odie takes a ball high to start. And Odie takes one across the plate for strike number 1 and a 1-1 count. And so talking with Ryder's dad here earlier, and sounds like we've got some viewers all the way out in Vermont today, Burlington, as a matter of fact. And I think this is one of the great things about having the live streams and technology, internet, all of it. It's just unbelievable that we're able to join and have a lot of fun there. So thank you guys for joining and watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and like our videos as well. I know I am very guilty of this as well. When I'm watching something online that I'm subscribed to, oftentimes I forget to go back in and like those videos, but that does help us with some of our numbers. And Odie now on a full count, 3-2. So we've got 2 down. It's top of the 4th. Bases are loaded. MacNSeitz down 9-2. And he takes strike 3. So today not being our day, and MacNSeitz leaving 3 on, and no runs score. That's going to take us to the bottom of the 4th. So frustrating day to get us a start, but important to note too, if you guys didn't know, we had our first game here against the Kansas City Renegades. Start at 8 a.m. We were playing back-to-back, so a doubleheader today, and we will play immediately following this game. So typically there's only about a 10 to 15 minute pause in between. So give me just a moment here, folks. Okay, folks, that brings us to bottom of the 4th. And first pitch is a strike. Logan Peterson, number 3-5. Still up there on the mound for us. And starting off right here. Working in and out, so first pitch inside on the plate for a called strike. And last pitch just a bit outside, so working out or in and out. Ooh, this one working well back in as the batter jumps over. A little bit of a wild pitch. Well, if you haven't been able to tune in before, you know, we talked about this, I believe, as we get a ball in play, fly ball, and a really nice play out there in center field. So that was number 12, Paul. Is that Paul? No, that's not Paul. Paul's behind the dish. Well, regardless, a nice play out there in center field, and that's going to be out number 1. And first pitch is fouled back for batter number 2. Really kind of a fantastic play out there in center, because it was a shallow fly ball, and definitely had to get down to the knees in order to make that catch. But as I was just saying, as that ball was put into play, talking about it earlier in the broadcast and in some of the broadcasts previously, these boys have not had an opportunity to practice much at all this fall. Only getting one team practice in per week. Typically only an hour or 2 tops, and sometimes just focused on hitting. So batter fouls that one back, and now an 0-2 count. So 1 down here early in the bottom of the 4th, and an 0-2 count here to start on batter number 2. But you got to figure these boys are a little bit rusty with some of their baseball play as Logan delivers a Bull Durham style type pitch well above the umpire's head. Now a 1-2 count, but you got to figure these boys are just a little bit rusty and not having the opportunity to practice a ton. Almost every single boy on this team is a multi-sport athlete, and vast majority of them playing fall football. And with fall football happening 5 to 6 days a week and games during the week and whatnot, these boys really just not finding a ton of time to do some of their individual practice to sharpen up some of their skills. So Logan with another one, this one carrying off of Paul's glove. So had the batter down early in the count, now at a full count. And oh, was that not a full count? No. Yeah, that was a full count, and the batter earns a walk. So some discussion there between home plate and the third base coach for the KC Renegades. That young man makes his way out to first, and that brings up number 3 for the Renegades, Baker. Steal is on, pitch down in the dirt, but what's he waving his hands about? Was there a timeout called? He's got to return to first. Thank you. All right. So this was this is what I was talking about earlier, and this time home plate umpire raising his hands as the batter called for time. The runner attempted to steal second, tried to stay on second, but the home plate umpire calling him back over to first. And so again, that happened earlier in the game, but on a play where we were able to make an out. But these home plate umpires catching a lot of flack from parents and whatnot, I'm sure, over every game they play, or officiate rather. Paul makes a throw down to second. That one's not going to be in time. But center field is right there to pick up the ball that gets by the second baseman. and shortstop. But so I had, given the commentary earlier that I just want to see the umpires take control of the game and make the call. Not argue the calls, but just make the call. And so on this one, he did raise both hands on the timeout, and so it was very obvious to everybody. So a swing and a miss there. That one gets by Paul for a pass ball. And let me give a quick check here to see what our count is. So a check swing by number 3 for the Renegades. That is Baker. And there's some discussion between our MacNSeitz coach, Brady, and the home plate umpire. Looked like the check swing did not go around. Swing and a miss there. And that will do it for Baker on a strike 3. So 2 down now, runner on third. Your score 9-2 in favor of the Kansas City Renegades. Wild pitch there, runner at third, looks like he thought about going, does not go. And so now both pitchers for MacNSeitz today not showing excellent command. Nice pitch there. This one's high fly ball into center field, and that will be out number 3. So Logan figuring out how to get those outs, even when his command maybe not on point as he's probably typically used to enjoying. And that's what we've seen from our boys today. And it's interesting how things can snowball and kind of come out to out in the field for a number of errors. But that's going to take us to top of the 5th. And Brooks Carr will lead us off, followed by Evan Book. And I'm going to go ahead and play our commercial here one more time today. And again, if you guys are local, viewing us here in Kansas City, we sure would appreciate some company sponsorship. Give it a listen.
Does your company support the community? Our MacNSeitz Baseball Club depends on generous donations in order to train and compete. Our sponsorship program has a variety of packages that fit into most any budget. With our live broadcast to YouTube and Twitter, our sponsors enjoy recognition of their community support, company logos cycled throughout our live streams, even audio commercials, just like this one. So if your company can help us reach our goals, please let us know by leaving a comment on our video. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, MacNSeitz 14U. Thank you for supporting local youth athletics. Now let's get back to some baseball.
All right. Let's see if Brooks Carr, number 5, can get something going here Our MacNSeitz boys leaving a lot of guys on base today. But Brooks doing a good job at his last at-bat, making his way on base. Both him and Evan Book were able to get on base in their last at-bats. So the KC Renegades bringing another pitcher out to start. This is now number 4, Bishop. So a looping pitch, and Brooks puts the bat on the ball, fouls this one out left side. And a strike 3 call on that one. So that'll bring up Evan Book. And I apologize, folks. I just got a couple too many things going here. Let's see. There we go. So let's take a look at Evan Book. So he takes the ball 1 high for first pitch. And I'll tell you, Evan's still yet to get a hit this fall, but his on-base percentage, interestingly enough, 444. So almost half of the time that he's been able to get up to the plate, he's been able to make his way on base. And that's due to walks, reaching on air, variety of different things. But Evan just looking to get something going for himself here in the fall and get something going for MacNSeitz here today, as he takes a strike on the outside of the plate. I'm sure if he watches that one back, he'll be like, oh my goodness. But you know, I was talking with Brooks Carr's grandfather here, Terry, earlier, and just discussing the game here a little bit. And you know, the boys just not really swinging the bat well, and just not swinging the bat at all. And the umpire, the officiating, has been pretty consistent with this strike zone. It's not a small strike zone, and that's kind of what you really want in this age bracket. So better to swing away and get something going and things like that. And we just have not been doing that well today. But Evan earns his way on base again with yet another walk. Pickoff attempt over at first. And a close play there with a nice pickoff move by the pitch out on the mound. But that brings up Logan Peterson, as he looks to try to help himself out, as he is now the pitcher of record.
We have time limit off field 19. Time limit off field 19.
So breaking pitch stays high, doesn't break. That'll be ball number 2. So Evan with a good lead out at first. Pitcher doing a decent job of holding him on. A couple of pickoff attempts over there. Nothing going yet. And a strike call. I got to tell you, that one looking a bit outside. So, but again, going back to the conversation earlier, and that is, you know, these boys, anything that they can get the bat on, they got to be swinging away. So. But Logan showing some patience here and looking for his pitch. And still being up in the count, he's able to do so. It's really about when you get down in the count, you got 2 strikes on you, you got to protect that plate. You don't want to go down looking. So 3-1 count, another pickoff attempt. And pitcher keeping Evan Book busy over there at first. And ball number 4. Logan earns a base. I tell you what, and Logan, so not having had the opportunity to have played too many games, he was batting .500. So slugging at .833, but nothing going there and nothing to hit. So runners now on second and first, and that brings up Reed Eckert. Reed butts down the right line, and it rolls foul. Nice little bunt. Showing good speed up the base path. Just unfortunately went a little bit foul. Don't think that the Renegades were quite ready for that, but I'm sure they'll be looking for it now. As pitcher makes a pickoff attempt over at first. So it looks like this might be a coaching thing from the Renegades, where their pitching staff is making pickoff attempts over at first, even when they've got a leadoff runner on ahead of them on the base pass. Reed takes the ball high there, and now a 1-1 count after fouling that bunt down the line. Pickoff attempt over at second, nothing going there. And Evan not even showing really much of a lead. But I will tell you, my preference is to see more of that than less of it, and not just giving up free bases. Reed showing bunt again. This one going back to the pitcher. And that'll be an out, but he does his job and moves the runners over. And so now we are back at the top of the lineup. Runners on second and third. And I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised that we went ahead and bunted there. First one, it was great. Maybe caught the Renegades by surprise a little bit, but when you're down this many runs and giving up another out is a little bit tough. But Reiner Votan with a swing and a miss there to start. This one fouls out of play, right side. And Ryder with a .316 slugging average. He's got 4 RBIs on the fall. And for a leadoff guy, those are pretty respectable numbers from an RBI standpoint. You know, Ryder been one of the more disciplined guys up at the plate, knowing kind of when to hold off and when to swing away. Puts this one in play right over to second, and that is misplayed. And Ryder will reach on air. And that brings another one home for MacNSeitz. Taking your score now 9-3, still in favor of the KC Renegades. Now up to plate number 36, Austin Strength. Pop up. That one goes to second base, and that'll be out number 3. As MacNSeitz leaves 2 more stranded out on the base paths. So that's going to do it for us here in this first matchup. KC Renegades winning 9-3 rather. And not a great outing by MacNSeitz today. Kind of starting off with some difficulty pitching and leaving a number of guys just out on base. So we're going to have to get that together here for game number 2. Look to bring some guys across the plate a little bit and get some better offensive production. Appreciate you guys joining us for this first game in the 3-2 Oktoberfest. Playing here in Shawnee, Kansas today, out at 3-2 West Complex Field, number 18. We're going to take a short break here, and we'll be up again for our next matchup, I would say within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Appreciate everybody watching. Again, please like, and subscribe. And join us for the next one here shortly.